yourself, Dracula, or I'll tear Castlevania from its very foundation.
Dracula's the least of your worries, Simon Belmont. A whip? I hope you brought something more powerful than that. Ow! Ow! Holy crow, that hurt! I can't feel my damn fingers!
Take me to your master!
Okay, down! Just take it easy with the whip.
I don't think my hand works anymore. I can't even make a fist.
Don't you realize how loud that is?
So, we meet again, Belmont. Do you know your father died in exactly that spot? Woo! What's that? A whip? Woo! You hit the tip! You son of a bitch! The tip! I'm the master of tip! I don't have to stand for this.
What kind of a sadist uses a whip?
Could be a fetish.
Are you guys ready for an all-new episode of the Jean Pod Van Damme cast? Of course you are. Don't be silly. It's Jeff and John in studio, and today this is going to be a short one. I'm not going to lie. We are reviewing Van Damme's little cameo in Robot Chicken 2009. It was released August 2nd, 2009. Only 11 minutes. I always forget that these aren't really the full 22 minutes when they appear.
One of their many 15-minute shows on the Adult Swim block.
Yep. Yeah, so Van Damme played Rhett Butler and Dracula in this. Really kind of funny. And
yeah, that had me giggling.
Yeah. This was season 4, episode 12, where the plot summary is Simon Belmont knows what works. Kermit the Frog introduces everyone to his cousin. The creators imagine what the new Gone with the Wind remake would look like. And Annie Warbucks celebrates her Super Sweet 16s. But we are not going to be reviewing those other ones. A little bit of a hint. If you really want to see this episode, you can find it online. And it's not that hard to find. The title of the episode is called Maurice Was Caught. There's no trivia. I'll already go ahead and say that to you guys. I'm not going to read the Robot Chicken trivia. So unless there's a good piece with Van Damme in it, but I highly doubt, and I'm not going to sit here and read trivia for like 9-10 seasons of the show. But before we get on with it, I was sitting with Jeff, and he says to me he does not like Robot Chicken.
Hate it.
So why? What happened? What's your reasoning?
Well, I've never been a Seth Green fan at all. Like, I've hated him in all the movies he was ever in.
You didn't like him as the Cha-Ching kid from, what was that, Checkers or Arby's?
Oh, yeah, that was... oh, my God, I forgot about that. Was that him?
Yeah, that was him. Cha-Ching! Oh, yeah, dude, definitely.
Okay, never mind. I like Robot Chicken. No. I don't know. I just always thought the show very sophomoric, very stupid, like college humor type stuff. Not that I'm against that per se, but I always thought he was not very funny. Yeah. That's mainly my hatred for him personified is why I don't like the show.
Oh, okay. All
there
right.
have been skits that they've had that I did like.
Yeah.
But I just can't sit through a whole episode.
No.
I mean, it's 11 minutes, man. I'm only human.
Yeah, that's true. You can't like everything. Nope. I can't
In fact, I don't like many things. Most things, you could say.
But there is one thing that you do like.
And what's that?
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
You're damned right.
Ah, there we go for the Van Damme Nation. So anyway, Van Damme plays in 2 segments in this. He plays in the opener, which is basically a rip on Castlevania.
Mm-hmm.
And the dude comes in, Simon Belmont starts whipping people, and they're laughing because he has a whip. They're like, what are you going to do? Until he starts whipping them, and they're like, that fucking hurt, man. I can't feel my hand. You really did it. So they take Simon to Dracula, and Dracula is talking. He's like, you know what happened to your father? And then he starts whipping him. And some of the funny things that Van Damme says, obviously Van Damme only said like a couple one-liners for this because they just kept replaying it. So he's whipping him, and Van Damme's like, "Oh, you hit the tip." And I was laughing at that. He's like, "Oh, you son of a bitch. Oh, you hit the tip. Oh, you son of a bitch." And they're mixing in other people's screams and whatnot as well. So that was it. The show, that scene ends.
That was my
credits.
favorite out of the two.
Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah, honestly, that one was pretty fun.
I never thought I'd see Jean-Claude Van Damme voicing Dracula.
I know, man, right? That's the one thing that I do like about Robot Chicken is you would get random cameos from people, like actually with some star status, and they would play just the most random characters. It never made any sense, and that's kind of why I liked it. It was just like, wait, is that Adam West's voice? Or, is it one of the others? And you're just like, who? Wait, that person was in this?
Kind of like how George Clooney played the gay dog in that episode of South Park.
Yes. Yep.
That always made my day.
Yep. So the second one was a skit where it was basically Van Damme, them remaking Gone with the Wind. Van Damme plays Rhett Butler, and he's like beating people up. He's like, split kick. And then he starts fighting Scarlett O'Hara, and
wasn't she played by Scarlett Johansson in the skit? They said it was starring Scarlett Johansson and Scarlett O'Hara or something like that.
I thought it was like Scarlett something Rock.
I can't remember now.
I don't know. And either way, they're like going, they're fighting back and forth, a little goofy. And then it goes, frankly, my dear, I don't give a Van Damme.
See, I think that's why they had him as the idea for a guest on the show, is like probably purely for the premise of that specific skit.
Yep. And probably Van Damme was like, I'll do it, but I want to play Dracula too. So, which I wouldn't put it past him if that were the truth. That was it, man.
That was it.
This could possibly be our shortest episode ever because there's no trivia with it, and it's 11 minutes long. And Van Damme's it was a minute, and then like a couple minutes.
Yep.
That was it. So how many Van Damme splits would you give it?
The first skit I would give 8.5. Actually 9, because it was really funny.
I agree with you. The first skit had me laughing. I definitely agree with you.
The second skit I'd probably give 7, because it was okay.
I can't disagree with you on that either. I felt it was okay. I felt it was
like a typical Robot Chicken skit to me.
That one was a little bit too predictable. It was just kind of like, hey, let's throw this at the wall. It was probably started off with the joke, frankly, my dear, I don't give a Van Damme. Yep. And then they went from there. Like, oh, hey, it's Gone with the Wind, but with action. Haha, this will be hilarious. All right, let's write it. So, yeah, I definitely agree. Both of those. The one, it's always funnier when it's like what you least expect. Mm-hmm. So, definitely. That's it. All right. Next up is Soldiers in 2010. Van Damme plays Frenchie. I've never seen this.
Me either. Never even heard of it.
Me neither. We're really starting to get into the crazy Van Damme years. We're getting into the early 2010s now, which is absolutely crazy to think. We're almost done with the show because a lot of these that he's done are cameo roles in them. Mm-hmm. And so I don't know. I really don't know. I can't wait for the Expendables, though.
I know. I love that movie.
So that's it. Thank you guys for listening. I know this is really short. Sometimes I think, oh, you know what? I'll put this with another episode, but then we get those weeks where I'm just kind of like,
oh dear God,
no, this is
haven't found the time to record.
Yeah, this is just gonna be it for the week. So, hope you guys enjoyed that. If not, go back and listen to some of our other reviews as well. You know where to find us at. You know what we plead and beg with you for: Amazon, Patreon. This is your first time listening. Why did you choose this one to listen? Anyway, that's it. I'm John.
And I'm Jeff.
You've been listening to another episode of the Jean Pod Van Damme Cast. Jeff, why do you have that whip? Oh, my tip!
There we go. Frankly, my dear, I don't give a Van Damme. Ow!